Hi all, this is Simona Rich, and in this video I'm going to explain the occult significance of Uranus. In Greek mythology, Uranus is told to be the personification of a heaven. The separation of a heaven from earth was accomplished by one of the children of Uranus, Cronus, sometimes identified with the planet Saturn, who mutilated his father, Uranus, and thus caused the separation. Since there was no cult of Uranus in classical Greece, it is believed that this god was of a more ancient origin, probably its origin being Asia, judging from the type of sword he was portrayed with. Its name is derived from the Greek word Uranus, I don't know how to pronounce it, which is related to the Sanskrit name Varuna, which is the god who was initially associated with the sky, especially the night sky, but is also the god of celestial ocean. Geocentrically, it's the ocean surrounding the world. Uranus is slightly visible to the naked eye as a blue-green point of light in the sky. The eyesight must be excellent though, and the sky very clear in order to see it. It was discovered in 1781 during American and French revolutions as it orbited through the constellation of Gemini. It was discovered with the aid of a telescope and was the first newly found planet. This planet's discovery, of course, was anticipated by experienced astrologers who knew that when the consciousness of the mass is raised, the discovery of a higher octave of Mercury would be found. On the same basis, they predicted the discovery of Neptune and Pluto too, Pluto being the last one to be discovered. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, which was shown in older times geocentrically as the closest planet from the Earth and not considering the Moon satellite. The fact that Mercury and not Venus is the closest planet to the Earth, which was known in ancient times as well, is confirmed by the discovery of Uranus prior to the discoveries of the other two outer planets. That's because we know Uranus to be the higher octave of Mercury, the planet of intelligence. And it is told that Mercury gives intelligence and Uranus gives inspiration or intuition, which means that Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, since Venus is the second closest planet to the Earth, and by its effects we also know that it's true. I will write about the planet Pluto's correspondence in a future article, and I'll make a video about it, and I already wrote and spoke about Neptune. So the humanity only discovers outer planets when their higher faculties corresponding to those outer planets are awakened. We are therefore opening up to some astral abilities. Yet the spiritual plane is something that is unable to be reached by the mass of people. We know, however, that many people are aware of the astral plane and get astral experiences, though some have no idea what that is and therefore try to ignore or forget some unusual experience that they had. Uranus in houses, in astrological houses. If a human being is awakened, strong Uranus gives originality and higher than average intelligence. If a person is asleep and Uranus is badly aspected, especially if the planet Mars is involved, it can cause accidents involving any sort of machines like motorbikes, cars, factory equipment, anything electrical and so forth. Uranus also causes weird eccentricities in undeveloped individuals. A person can be a rebel without a cause. In whichever astrological house it's found, through it the person will try to express freedom and originality. The sign in which Uranus is located gives understanding what a person's motivations behind that freedom or originality are. If the planet is found in the 12th astrological house, it gives secret enemies that attack when a person least expects, or for example when the person is weakest. If it's found near to the ascendant, Uranus gives a highly original outlook, if close to the ascendant from the 12th house, and an unusual appearance, or could be an unusual way of dressing, if it's found in the first house. Since it's the author of the original thought, Uranus makes people who are awakened to its vibrations lonely, if not socially then at heart. They feel different from the rest. If the force of originality is abused, it may lead to forming cults and trying to dominate, like the myth of Uranus describes the sky god, Uranus, being unwilling to share his dominion with any of his sons. Also, the awakened creativity may lead one to focus only on the creation, not paying attention to how those inventions will be used by the world. We can see that in the destiny of Nikola Tesla's inventions, which were sometimes used for evil and not good, and we see here the natal chart of Nikola Tesla. He was the master of electricity and a great inventor, and although Uranus is in his fall, it's in the first house and is well aspected and trines midheaven. 23 degrees of Taurus, according to the fatalistic astrology, causes one to give everything to others, yet receiving only ingratitude. I think this sums up the life of Nikola Tesla quite well. In the second house, it gives unexpected events in the area of finances, like winning a huge amount only to lose it. In the third house, it gives originality in self-expression. In the fourth house of astrology, it gives unusual family circumstances. In the fifth house, it gives unusual pastime pursuits, or the person, for example, can spend time playing computer games or doing something to do with technology. In the sixth house, it gives many changes in employment, and a native may suddenly decide to quit without any prior warning. In the seventh house, it usually gives divorces. In the eighth house, it can give an unusual death or death caused by machines or electricity, but there must be some bad aspects to confirm such a destiny. In the ninth house, it gives rebelliousness against the established order of things. In the 10th house, it gives unexpected change of the public face, such as an instant fame or a fast fall from grace. In the 11th, it gives friends interested in technology and unexpected beginnings and ends of friendships or unusual friendships. I've already mentioned the workings of Uranus in the 12th house. These are, of course, just very general ways how Uranus works in each house, as aspects to it as well as zodiac signs in which it's found, and other astrological factors must be taken into consideration before forming a judgment about its workings. But in general, it gives unexpected events, accidents, or anything else to do with technology or an electricity and originality. It rules the zodiac sign Aquarius, which before was told to be ruled by Saturn, and now Saturn is its co-ruler. Uranus rules the 11th house of friends and common goals. And if you want me to look at your natal chart, you can have a look at my life assessment service, and I also assess not only natal chart, but there is an option for me to assess your palms as well as numbers. The governor of astrology and the supernatural. A strong Uranus influence may encourage people to study astrology, and also its influence can cause supernatural phenomena. It rules magic and things considered paranormal. Since it's a slow-moving planet, its effects are long-lasting, and it, being an outer planet, tends to affect the mass thought. So when a trend starts spreading, it's very likely that the Uranian influence is involved. Uranus teaches one to dissolve established ways that hinder the progress and to become more open-minded and tolerant. Whoever becomes receptive to his influences will become the leader of something new, something original, like some new way of doing things or some new field. Uranus as a ruler of the sky and innovation. Uranus rules things connected with the sky and air, like electricity, wireless communications, artificial intelligence, and lightning. It also rules everything innovative, from inventions to original thoughts. It rules the technology and science. It's a very unpredictable planet, and thus it being strong in someone's chart may give unpredictable behavior and a frequent change of routine. Uranus also rules unpredictable events of the Earth, like earthquakes, volcano eruptions, also explosions, and anything that is unpredictable in general. It also sometimes manifests in violent ways, destroying existing structures and introducing anarchy. It is due to its influence that people are inspired to break barriers imposed by caste, the society, or religion. It respects different views and unusual life choices and embraces individuals for who they are, and it favors personal spirituality to the spirituality governed by the establishment. A strong Uranus in one's chart can indicate a genius or someone mentally unstable. Sometimes it can make a person into the one that inspires the progress of the society, but it can also cause the person to experience mental breakdowns and psychological issues. A person strongly ruled by Uranus, but who is spiritually undeveloped, may become so different from the society that he or she may even become dangerous to the well-being of others. But if an individual can handle its higher vibrations of this planet, he can be the force behind the unification of the humanity despite individual differences, since Uranus is, after all, the ruler of the 11th house of friends. It will also encourage the destruction of organizations based on hierarchy. Uranus is responsible for midlife crisis. He travels through the zodiac in around 84 years and stays in each sign for around 7. It's the planet that is responsible for midlife crisis in a human life, which hits when a person is around 42. It usually brings huge changes in one's life, and it happens when transiting Uranus is in opposition to where it was at birth, so midlife crisis can be predicted. Its transit effects are long-lasting. This midlife crisis will most greatly affect people who have not fulfilled their goals and who lived uneventful lives. Then they will start feeling that they are missing out on life, and there will be a sense of urgency to do things that are not usual for them. Also, there might be a feeling that one is getting old, and thus they may try to form relationships with younger people or wear revealing or tight clothes to prove themselves still desirable. Men may try to look cool to attract the attention of ladies or do cool things like riding motorcycles and so forth. But if a person has lived life to the fullest, it may be simply the way that it manifests may be that a more mature attitude is now developed, or a wish to process all the things one experienced is developing, or some more mature direction in life is taken. So that's all the information that I have for you on the planet of Uranus, and here are the references that I used, and I of course used my own my personal knowledge to write this article and make this video as well. Thank you for watching. Take care.